It is just after 3 o'clock in the morning on the 8th of August 1963. A Royal Mail train cuts through the darkness of the Buckinghamshire countryside, its steam rising into the cold night air. On board are letters, parcels, and 128 sacks of used banknotes worth £2.6 million. This journey should have been routine. Instead, it is about to become the most infamous robbery in British history. Ahead on the tracks, a signal glows red. The driver slows, assuming a fault. What he does not know is that the signal has been deliberately tampered with. Hidden in the shadows nearby, 15 men with military precision. When the train stops, they move quickly and decisively. Masked figures swarm the engine and carriages. The driver is struck and incapacitated. The guards are overpowered. No guns are fired, but the threat is unmistakable. This is not chaos. This is planning, timing, and discipline. Inside the mail carriage, the robbers begin transferring the money. Heavy sacks are dragged into the open under torchlight. Notes spill across the floor as the gang struggle with the sheer weight of the cash. What was meant to take minutes drags on far longer than planned. Every extra second increases the risk of discovery. Eventually, the gang abandon the train and melt into the countryside. They vanish into waiting vehicles beneath railway bridges and down muddy tracks. For a brief moment, it looks like the perfect crime. No alarms raised, no immediate arrests. The biggest robbery Britain has ever seen appears unsolved, but the aftermath proves far less glamorous. Fingerprints left on a Monopoly board at the gang's hideout give police the break they need. Within months, most of the robbers are identified, arrested, and brought to trial. Long prison sentences follow. The illusion of the perfect crime collapses. One man, however, refuses to accept his fate. Ronnie Biggs is sentenced to 30 years in prison. Just 15 months later, in 1965, he stages one of the most daring escapes in British criminal history. Biggs climbs through a prison window using a rope ladder. He scales a wall, drops into darkness, and disappears into the night. Within weeks, he is out of the country, using false identities and underground contacts. Britain launches a manhunt, but Biggs is already gone. For years, he moves across Europe, living under aliases, constantly changing locations. Eventually, he settles in Brazil, a country with no extradition treaty with the UK at the time. There, Biggs does something extraordinary. He becomes famous. Rather than hiding, he leans into notoriety. He gives interviews, poses for photographs, and turns his fugitive status into a twisted celebrity brand. At times, he lives comfortably, funded by publicity, supporters, and the lingering myth of the robbery. At other times, he struggles, ill, poor, and increasingly isolated. Fame does not guarantee security. As the years pass, Biggs' health deteriorates. Strokes leave him partially paralyzed. By the late 1990s, the high life has faded into hardship. In 2001, nearly 4 decades after the robbery, Ronnie Biggs makes a shocking decision. He returns voluntarily to the United Kingdom. He is immediately arrested upon arrival and taken back into custody. The sentence he once escaped now waits for him. Biggs spends his final years in British prisons, his legend stripped of glamour and reduced to reality. In 2009, he is released on compassionate grounds due to failing health. He dies 4 years later, a man forever linked to one night on a railway line in Buckinghamshire. The Great Train Robbery was more than a crime. It became a story of planning and arrogance, of fame and consequences, and it remains a reminder that even the most daring escapes rarely outrun time itself.